Laying of papers, sorry.
Last week, the Minister for General Duties in the Finance Ministry, Henry Musasizi, presented a 3.5 trillion shillings supplementary budget request to Parliament for approval. The request is broken down into two parts, one of which is a 1.5 trillion shillings expenditure, which the government spent without prior approval of Parliament from the 3% provided. The rest of the money is above the percentage for which express approval of Parliament is required.
Basically, it touches quite a number of areas, some of which were unforeseen during the budgeting, some of which have come as a result of emergencies.
A breakdown of the figures shows that the State House spent 100 billion shillings, which did not require prior approval, and plans to spend an additional 385 billion shillings. The money, which is tagged under classified budget, which means that only a few MPs are allowed to know the exact purpose for the funds, totals 485 billion shillings, which is the lion's share of the request. Another 39 billion shillings is provided for under the classified supplementary budget request for security equipment for the Internal Security Organization, ISO.
This classified budget definitely is just for patronage. There are so many people who are being paid in this country whom we don't know. We are fighting many wars which we are not supposed to fight. We are in Congo, we are in Somalia, we are in Equatorial Guinea.
We keep on wondering why, because most of the classified is under State House. And State House has been around for some time. They know their nature of business. They can forecast and have this money within, even if it is within classified, but it should be within the budget.
There is also the 2.7 billion shillings which the government spent on the supervision of Lubawa Hospital, though some MPs who requested not to be named say they turned down this request during the budgetary process for the 2023-24 financial year. Preparatory activities for the hosting of the non-allied movement and the G77+1 summits under the Office of the President has been allocated 26.7 billion shillings in this request. Munyonyo Commonwealth Resort, which was earlier allocated funds from the government, received in the supplementary an additional 37 billion shillings for the Convention Centre. National Information and Registration Authority (NIRA) will receive 138 billion shillings for procurement of the new national security and information system, which together with the budget for development shall shoot to 300 billion shillings. Uganda Bureau of Standards (UBOS) will receive 144 billion shillings to prepare for the population census.
So what I'm proposing is that let's look at the previous financial year. We can leave the COVID year and see actually what have we realized. If it is 40 trillion, we budget along those lines. And we make our priorities very well.
Renovation and facelift of Gaddafi National Mosque is allocated 2.7 billion shillings. The Higher Education Students Financing Board, which had been proposed to be returned to the Ministry of Education and Sports, will receive 13 billion shillings, and payment of arrears to money lenders by the Ministry of Public Service, 12 billion shillings. Sections of the members of Parliament say it is time the planners for this economy came up with a realistic budget that matches the revenue collection instead of the current 52 trillion shillings that with the supplementary budget will jump to 56 trillion shillings that may not be released at the end of the day. Jackson Onyango, NTV at Parliament.